Hi there, Steve Packer again, down in Dorset, England at the Dorset Golf Resort. Just here today to talk to you about a very important component of the golf swing, the grip. Now, the grip is considered fundamental by almost every coach that you'll speak to. I definitely don't disagree. I think the grip is ever so important, and it is fundamental that it is right for you, but it is not fundamental in the sense that every grip should be the same. If you go on tour, you've got grips that vary from one extreme to the other, from the strongest grip, which is considered turned all the way around onto the side, to the weakest grips, where the grip is turned around all the way onto the top of the club. And what is right, what is wrong, and what is right for you, that is the most important thing. Now, these top players, these elite golfers on TV, are all lucky. They found their magic grip, the one that suits them the best. But we here, in the amateur game and the lower level of the professional game, we're still searching for a lot of the pieces in our game that we need to find that suit us the best so that we can actually perform at the highest level. And I'm going to try and help you today with some of the research that I've been doing over the last sort of 13, 14 years. I'm going to help you with this research, where I've got to, on how you can actually get that grip as close as possible to your optimum hold of the club and the way that your body likes to move. So what we're going to do is discuss the grip and see if we can sort of bust the myths and talk about the things that are really, really important to get right. Obviously going to cover left and right hand, or leading hand and trailing hand, to make sure that they're both in the right place. And we're going to start with the leading hand, the left hand for a right-handed golfer. So the first hand that we're going to discuss is the leading hand. So what is the role of the leading hand and how does it control the golf swing? So the role of the leading hand actually mostly is to set the face to the club. So effectively your left hand is going to be the club face. Now, I'm not saying that the right hand doesn't influence the club face, but I'm saying predominantly the left hand sets the club face and sets the position of the club face in relation to your golf swing. So I'm going to take you to both ends of the spectrum, and then I'm going to teach you how to find where you sit on that spectrum, whether it's predominantly more on the weak side or the strong side, or somewhere in the middle, and how to find that hold. So let's talk about the weak side. So just so we're all on the same page, a weak grip is considered when the left hand is more on top of the club. So we see that thumb is got much more on top of the grip, almost pointing down the grip, and sometimes even verging pointing down the other side of the grip towards the target side. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing. That weaker grip and that weaker club face position definitely suits people who have slower bodies and slower hips. So what do I mean by that? Well, if a body is slow and hips are slow, they're going to be very static in the golf swing. Well, what that will mean is your body will therefore rely on your arms, maybe your legs a little bit, but your arms predominantly to hit the golf ball. Now, armsy golfers, plenty of good armsy golfers by the way, but armsy golfers tend to have a much higher rate of closure. So as that club comes in, because the body's not moving anywhere, the wrists will rotate over, the club will turn over, and that club will close very, very quickly from open to shut. So exceedingly important in that instance that the grip is very weak, because if you're going to have a high rate of closure, and if you had a strong grip, what would happen is that club would come in and that toe would be turned right over and you'd hit nothing but duck hooks. And then you'd have to try and fix the swing. Your body is very intuitive. You would try and put pieces in to try and hold the face open and lift the ball up in the air, and that leads to further problems. So slower body, slower hips needs a weaker grip. Now, as we move across to the stronger end of the spectrum, obviously it's going to be in a completely different sense. The stronger the grip means the more fast your body should be. So if you've got a really fast body, a strong grip is going to be the one for you. Why? Because body turn actually slows the rate of closure of the club. So if I get a really, really strong grip, so I'm just going to really put that thumb, I'm not sure if you can see here, right on the side of the grip here. So really on the side, nowhere near the top, put it right on the side. Now if I turn my thumb so it's sort of facing up, you'll see how close that face is. But if I turn my body really, really, really quickly, what you'll see is my face gets held open. Okay, so if you've got really fast hips, really fast body, you're going to need a stronger grip, no question. Because otherwise what will happen is, with a weak grip, you'll turn your body really quick, you'll come in and that face will be laid open all the time. And that is going to obviously result in big block cuts, and you might then start to panic and hit some pull hooks, and that again leads to really awful problems. So what we've got to try and figure out is, do you have fast hips? Do you have slow hips? Are they somewhere in the middle? How are we going to actually investigate and find out? Well, here's the exercise that I want you to do to find out whether your grip needs to be weak in your left hand or lead hand, medium or strong, and we're going to set that for you right now. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about now is the role of the right hand grip. Now the right hand is extremely interesting. As I said, the right hand, the left hand obviously controls the club face, the alignment of the club face. The right hand can influence it, and I'm going to sort of talk to you about how, but primarily the right hand's role is to just apply force and pressure. So from the top of the golf swing, what we're looking to do is to apply force and pressure on the side of the grip or on the top of the grip, depending on how you're built. And really, we're just trying to push. We're trying to apply speed by pushing as hard as we can on the correct part of the grip. So we've got basically setting the face and then accelerating the face. And that's really the way that the two grips work in combination with each other. So the right hand, how do we know it's in the correct place, and how can it influence you negatively if it's in the wrong place? So the first, I think, way to talk about this is to talk about the three categories of grip that roughly you're going to find yourself in. We've got a grip which I would call under, which is when your palm is open, okay, and it's actually pointing up and it's underneath the grip. So that's what we'd consider quite a strong right hand grip. So if you were to open your palm and the palm is facing up in the sky, that's an under grip, so that's quite a strong grip. If the thumb obviously more on top, you open your palm and the palm is on the side of the grip, we would call that a side on grip, so rather than under on the side. And you guessed it, if your hand is over and you open the palm and the palm's facing down and it's on top of the grip, we would call that an on top grip. So you've got under, side, on top. None of them are wrong. All of them work for somebody out there in the world at the highest elite level. So which is the right one for you? There's a little test that you can do, okay? And that test place. So let's talk about the ramifications of getting it in the wrong way. And I think this is really, really important to understand. So let's talk about the on-top grip, because most people I see who have a grip problem, they tend to be the guys which have their hands, or should have their hands, more on top. But in fact, they've got them set on the side. Reason for that is golf coaching for years has advocated that the grip sits more on the side of the club, or even under a little bit. And there's almost no golf books out there which advocate the grip on top of the club. So obviously this is the problem that I encounter the most. So effectively, if that grip is on the side and it should be on top, you imagine getting to the top of the backswing, and now this hand, it doesn't want to apply force on the side. What it wants to do is the elbow wants to kick out and it wants to apply force over and down. You can see what that's going to do to the shaft. You get to the top and this elbow then starts to kick over. That is one of the biggest reasons that I find people swing over the top of the ball, and their swing plane is too steep and they come over and across. It's because they've got the grip in completely the wrong place. Their hand is under or on the side, it should be on top, and their body wants it to be on top. And when they turn on the power and their body moves into that power sort of movement and it pushes on the grip, that's what topples it over and gets the club over the top. The other problem I see again is that hand topples over, then people extend to try and get the club to come under. So it is the root cause of a couple of the really big over the top and early extension problems that I tend to see in golfers, and it could all be caused and rectified by changing the grip. So really, really, really important to get that grip change done, because it will really set the groundwork for you to be able to move forwards and fix the other things in your swing which you need to fix. Again, talking about the under guy, so if your hand's on top and you've got somebody that's under, what you'll tend to find is those are the guys that go to the top of their swing and then their elbow really re-roots under, so their hand's on top, it re-roots under, and then their face is way open and then they get that body stall and flick. So anybody that's got excessive roll in their golf swing, it's where the club rolls over and the hands are very active, and no matter what you do, you can't fix it. It's normally because your hand's too far on top, it needs to be stronger, your hips are obviously really quick, and then your body tries to catch up by throwing the club at it. So massive problems can be caused by having the incorrect grip type for the way that your body moves, how fast it moves, how it bends, and how it applies force. So I really want you to use those two exercises to determine, have I got fast, slow, or medium hips? So therefore, should my, let's make this simple, should I be a 1 knuckle, 2 knuckle, or 3 knuckle plus player? So with my hip speed, my body speed. And then with my hand, do I apply force with my elbow pulling back? Do I apply force with my elbow on the side? Or do I get that elbow sort of pitching underneath my rib cage and throwing out? So those are the things that we need to determine. We need to set the hands in the right place, and if you do, you're going to see some fantastic results coming from the back of that. So I hope you enjoyed that grip video. I hope it's really enlightened you into how your grip can really be, all over the place depending on what you're looking for in improvement. Now, there are some exercises that you can do to help once you've found that right grip position, and I'm just going to go over those in this next little part of the video. Hand. So a couple of ways that you can really do it, and you can start to influence what's going on, and I'm really excited to show you once you've got this new grip part under your belt and it suits how that your body works and your arms and everything works. We can actually take this on further, and we can start to look at how we change the backswing, how we change the top of the backswing, the pull down, the release, the follow through, the finish. All of it will start to fall in, or be able to fall into place more once we get this hold in the right place. So I hope you really enjoyed all that information. Who knew the grip could be so interesting and so exciting? There's definitely a lot more to it than meets the eye, as you can see, and it's something that you really need to make sure that you get under your belt and you find the right place for you. Don't follow the textbooks, don't follow what your favourite golfer on tour is doing. Do the tests, see where you come out, stick to it, because that is how your body wants to move, and therefore that is how you will get the best out of the club and you'll move the best holding the club. So enjoy your practice, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.